Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Our lead story of the day is a big one because we got Tucker Carlson coming back with a brand new show on Twitter. This is his announcement video. We'll play it in just one moment, but before we jump into that, as always, support a true American patriot by hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave us a short, sweet comment down below. The question of the day is, are you excited to see Tucker Carlson back? We'd love to hear from you. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. You often hear people say the news is full of lies, but most of the time that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own fact checks. Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true. It's not true. At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated. How does that work? Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie. He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say. But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you. And that's what the news media are doing in
Correct.
Every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year.
Preach it, Tucker.
What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it. That's not a guess. It's guaranteed.
Whoa, a little bit of a jab at Fox News there, folks. A little bit of an insight of maybe what happened.
Every person who works in English language media understands that. The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Speech
Correct.
is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments. Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter, where we are now. Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops. Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here, and we think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets. You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter. The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge. We think that's a bad system. We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others. See you soon.
Love that. Love to have Tucker back. And you know what? There was rumors that he was having conversations with Elon Musk, which kind of makes sense now as to why he was having conversations with Elon Musk, because he's going to Twitter. And I bet you he's like, look, I want free range to say whatever the hell I want. And Elon's like, go for it, man. Go for it. We're not going to silence you. So news of Carlson's show comes after Axios reported at the start of the week that Carlson's allies were prepared to start attacking Fox News if the network did not let him out of his contract, which would pay him $20 million a year to keep him on the sidelines until 2025. Carlson's high-profile attorney, Brian Friedman, who is also retained, surprisingly enough, by fired CNN co-host Don Lemon, said in a statement, the idea that anyone is going to silence Tucker and prevent him from speaking to his audience is beyond preposterous. So it looks like we got Tucker back. I don't know. There's not any news as far as like when it's actually going to happen. I haven't seen anything like that so far. I think they're still working on getting out of the contract with Fox News. But hey, a couple jabs there at Fox. I love this. Are you guys excited to have Tucker back? This is a big deal to get free speech out there. Now I got to look into creating a Twitter account for myself of like, hey, can we upload videos like this? Like since when and how long? Like that was pretty good quality. I'll keep you updated on that, folks. But again, Tucker Carlson is coming back with a brand new show. And, you know, it's probably going to be bigger and better than ever because Fox News was clearly restricting him on what he can say. And Elon Musk, I'm telling you, is going to be like, Say whatever the hell you want, man. Go crazy, because a lot of people are going to be pouring to Twitter to hear Tucker. Well, moving into our next story of the day, we do have yesterday's White House press briefing, where I got to give kudos to Jackie Heinrich here. We give her kudos all the time, but she does a phenomenal job of pushing back on Karine Jean-Pierre here, because Karine Jean-Pierre has been calling Republicans in the House MAGA extremists for what's going on with raising the debt ceiling and saying, hey, look, we need a better budget here because our spending is out of control. And so according to Karine Jean-Pierre, the Republicans are holding the country hostage. You know, they're going after the VA and all these knucklehead things, which aren't true, by the way. And Jackie Heinrich calls her out on this. She does a fabulous job here. Hit that like and subscribe button, folks, if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and roll it.
43 Republican senators signed onto a letter opposing raising the debt ceiling without budget reforms, and 217 members in the House voted for that bill to raise the debt limit with cuts to spending. Does the White House consider all of those members to be dangerous MAGA Republican extremists?
Do they understand what the cuts that they're voting for is going to do? That's the question. I mean, Republicans...
That wasn't the question. And how many times have we seen this where literally she'll hear a question, but then she'll make up her own question in her mind and then answer the question that she made up in her own mind that was never asked, but she'll answer that one. It's insane. It's insane. But Jackie Heinrich doesn't let up here.
In Congress, in the House specifically, voted for cuts that's going to hurt American families. I mean, we can't say this enough. 22%. Cuts to veterans, healthcare, schools. That's what they voted for.
False.
That's what, and this is not, okay, but this is not just, this is their constituents. This is what they voted for.
And those constituents that they're voting on behalf of have said that they're concerned about their retirements, about the effects of inflation, and those members represent more than half of the country in the House. I mean, that's the majority of districts in the country, that they're voting on behalf of those constituents who are expressing concern about where the economy is. So I guess, how can the White House continue to use messaging calling this the Default on America Act and paint this legislation in such a way without having a conversation about the budget when you've got half the country saying that they want that conversation?
So House Republicans are threatening a first ever default. They want the president to agree on a plan in its entirety that includes cuts to programs that are incredibly important for the American family, because they want to hold the American economy hostage, because that's what they're saying that they want to do by threatening a default.
I just want to pause it because some of you have asked in the comment section, and I highly recommend you check out the comment section, because some of the comments we get from the Democrats and the left that will throw maybe one or two in there are insane. So some of you asked, do people actually really believe this? Yes, they do. And you heard me talk about it. Look at the comment section from yesterday's podcast. You literally have people that actually believe that Republicans are holding the country hostage. Just read the comment section of main podcast videos, folks, if you want to be entertained. Just go ahead and read it. It's too great. It's too great. But we'll let her continue here. And like I said, Jackie will push back on what she's saying.
The bill would raise the debt limit. It passed a bill to raise the debt limit. So the conversation...
and I hear you, but they are connecting passing whatever, this debt limit, to cuts, 22% cuts to veterans, to seniors. That's what they are threatening.
This.
Cuts to our schools. That's what that's what is connecting. That's what their budget plan is.
The bill doesn't have any appropriations in it, actually, and the speaker has, ruled out a number of those things, including defense, veterans benefits, senior entitlement programs. I mean, you have Mitt Romney saying that there has to be a conversation here. Is he a MAGA Republican extremist?
Damn, Jackie again! This girl is amazing. I mean, what do you say to that? She literally just destroyed her. Literally destroyed Karine Jean-Pierre, going, basically, nope, that's not going to fly. We're not going to let that one slide. All right? You sat there and spewed a bunch of nonsense, and now I'm going to call you out for it. Yeah!
What I'm saying is House Republicans have been very clear. They voted on a bill that's going to cut programs that are very important to American families. Law enforcement, cutting programs to law enforcement, cutting program to veteran care, cutting program to our school system.
Since when do Democrats care about law enforcement? Since when do they care about cutting law enforcement? I'm not saying I'm for it. I'm just asking because we just spent 4 years of defund the police, right? Trump's a racist, right? The police are hunting black men in the street, which is literally not true. And by the way, if you did read our book, there's an entire chapter called Defunding the Police and how we debunk that whole thing because Democrats are trying to destroy this country from the inside out in conjunction with the progressive left. Grab yourself a copy. Link is in the description below. We go over all the statistics. You got a statistic teacher here with you going over the stats and basically calling them out for their bogus lies. Let the knucklehead continue, though.
That's what Republicans have voted on. So those are extreme. Those are very extreme. These are things that the American people don't want. Just look at 2022,
spit out my coffee
what
for that
they
insane
voted
comment
for.
she just
They
made.
voted for to protect their retirement accounts. That's what the American people want to see. And so they're connecting those two. They want the president to agree on its entire agenda of an extreme budget. It is an extreme budget, something that Americans do not want. And
You want to know what's extreme? Can we just talk about this for a moment and call out the elephant in the room? How about our politicians spending more than we have? We are almost $32 trillion in debt. I would like to point out under the Clinton administration, I'm not saying for the Clintons whatsoever, but we were at a surplus at one point. That was in the 90s. 32 trillion is coming up. Can you all it's not like that's going to disappear. We have to pay that back. And how do you think the government's going to pay it back? They're not going to print more money. I mean, I'm sure that'll have a little bit to do with it. Taxes. You think taxes are rough now? Wait till they start instituting and actually paying this stuff back. It's going to get to the point where literally we're just paying back the interest. We're not actually paying back the principal of this whole thing. So that's extreme. Us sitting there trying to figure this out is not extreme. That's called being adult. That's called having a little bit of a clue of where we're heading, and maybe we should sit here and say enough's enough. Let's figure this out. So Republicans are the ones being the adults in the room. The Democrats just going, well, hey, let's be idiots still. Let's raise the debt ceiling without talking about a budget. Typical.
you know, that's something for them to answer to. This is also speaking to they're speaking to their constituents when they're voting for something like that.
Exactly.
And so look, the president put
Yes.
forth a budget where it also cuts spending, but not hurting American families. We're trying to make sure that we lower the deficit by saying that we're going to cut the deficit by $3 trillion over 10 years.
Oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't drink my coffee right there. Oh my God, just say it again. Over the deficit. With a straight face. Look at her face. She actually believes this.
But he put forth something that is actually responsible. Remember, show me your value. Show me your budget, and I'll tell you what you value. That's what the president said. They showed their value by showing cutting veterans program, cutting school programs, cutting health care, 22%. That's what they value. That's
She's still
something
gonna
that they
push
have
this
to
thing.
answer to the American people about. Go ahead, Ed.
You literally have Jackie Heinrich just totally destroying her. And so she just waits till she talks and rambles for quite a while, and then she'll just regurgitate the same talking points of the same nonsense that she continues to spew. Even though, again, Jackie Heinrich completely obliterated exactly what she just spewed once again. So it's insane. It's insane. Well, they're MAGA extremists. Yeah, but it's like the entire Republican Party. Mitt Romney's a MAGA extremist that isn't a fan of Donald Trump. And you know, she kind of like stepped aside from that. Now she's not, later on, she wasn't calling them extremists anymore. It's so unbelievable that she gets away with it. And like I said, Democrats are really for this. They listen to this and like, yeah, oh yeah, no, the Republicans are holding them hostage. Yeah, no, Republicans are sitting there stopping this crap from happening. It's already been passed. So it's not like there's anything being held hostage. Joe Biden could step up at any moment and say, hey, let's actually have a conversation about the budget and figure this ish out. And he don't want to do it. That's why everybody in this room, that was the main question. It has been the main question going on. Why is Joe Biden not willing to have a conversation about this budget and figure it out? And she keeps pushing this nonsense, spinning it, manipulating it in the same way these knucklehead Democrats in the comment section keep doing the same thing. Because this doesn't work. This isn't working. There's Democrats out there, folks, I like to point out, to bridge the gap, there are Democrats out there that understand this. They'll still vote Democrat. We're not going to understand why, but they're good people. They're people of faith out there on the Democrat side of the aisle. But the progressive left in a nutshell, is really what we're talking about here. They're progressive left. They'll call themselves Democrats, but they're actually some centrist Democrats like Tim Pool out there, which is probably an old school type of Democrat. I don't know if he would agree with that, but he's definitely centrist, which is why I watched the Tim Pool podcast. Well, hit that like and subscribe button, folks, if you haven't already. We're moving into our last story of the day. I'm saving the best for last in a sense because it really is comedic. With all this immigration stuff going on, you have New York City. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is threatening to bus migrants to his suburbs now. Our plan is working. They can't do it. Oh, they can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm sweating in here because it's hilarious. This guy, in conjunction with Chicago, Bowser over there in Washington, D.C., prancing around for years and years. We're right to shelter city. Those bigot Republicans, those racists, they don't want to do this or that. Hey, fine, have them all. We'll bus them all to you. So we do that, and now he's declaring it a state of emergency. He can't handle it. And he's like, we're going to have to bus these people to other parts of the suburbs. Yes, do that. Piss those people off too. Please, please send them to the suburbs so that they could sit there and take them in because we would love their vote because they're going to be pissed about it. So fewer than 48 hours remaining until Title 42 comes to an end. A bleep storm's coming on the 11th. There is a White House press briefing with DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Get ready for a full podcast this Friday with nothing but White House press briefing. We might have to cover the whole thing. If you're all into that, let me know because odds are we're gonna react to the whole thing. It's gonna be a long ass podcast. I hope you're all into it because I'm gonna be. So 42 comes to an end. 2 New York counties have declared states of emergency over New York City Mayor Eric Adams' threat to bus migrants into the suburbs. Monday, Orange County joined Rockland County in declaring a state of emergency in advance of migrants. It hasn't even happened yet. It hasn't even happened yet. They're declaring a state of emergency. That's how bad things are. Advance of migrants' arrival in our respective communities. They're seeing it. They're going, holy crap, folks. In the state of emergency. They haven't got anybody yet. So the mayor is still insisting on committing 2 illegal acts in furtherance of his failure to handle the immigrant crisis in New York City. This comes from Rockland County Executive Ed Day, I guess as a Republican, and he said in an interview Tuesday morning on Fox News Channel, America's Newsroom, as an ex-police officer, he should know better. He don't know better. Look at the man, how he's running that whole place. The crime is through the roof. The garbage is through the roof. The whole infrastructure is through the roof. They literally had their infrastructure rocked from 11,000 illegal immigrants. They couldn't take care of 11,000 people with a city full of millions. 11,000 new additions set them just spilling over. That's why they asked the federal government for a ton of money because they couldn't handle it. The first illegal act involves boarding the migrants in a hotel in the county for more than 30 days, Day alleged. The second is violating the state of emergency that the county has already established, an active Day says is a Class B misdemeanor. Quote, to have more than 300 people dropped on us at a time is ridiculous. There's just no way we can handle that. 300 people is 5 times what the homeless county is currently in Rockland County. Oh my God. Oh my God. What a bleep storm. So following Rockland County's lead, Orange County executive signed an executive order Monday barring hotels, motels, and facilities allowing short-term rentals from accepting migrants and or asylum seekers from housing within Orange County. A Republican signed the order based on New York City's proposed plan to bus asylum seekers for temporary housing in the town of Newburgh, which I believe is Republican. So both these areas seem very Republican leaning. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me, but it seems like that is the case. And it's odd that he's not willing to do it to the suburbs that are Democrat ran. Interesting. So maybe it's his way of pushing back on Republicans for sending the buses there. So in his executive order, you have the new, I think his name is Newhouse, the one that signed the executive order for Orange County. I guess there's some sort of hypocrisy that he's trying to highlight here of Mayor Eric Adams decrying Texas Governor Abbott's decision to bus migrants to those jurisdictions with minority mayors, basically, while Adams targeted Republican counties. So that just kind of affirms what our thinking was, is that he's targeting Republican counties and not Democrat-run counties because Republican governors are targeting blue areas. But the difference is Republican counties aren't shouting, look at us, sanctuary counties, whereas you and your state and your city were literally shouting, "Oh, look at us, sanctuary. We're all sanctuary. Come and join us," and boasting about it. So you got what you want. Now you can't handle it. So this is what's going on. In 2 days, or a day, I guess, you're about to see on May 11th, Title 42 expire. We're going to see something happen. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's not a tidal wave. I hope you're not going to see some insane crap happening at the southern border, but odds are you are. Odds are we're about to see some serious crap. And like I said, be on the lookout for Friday's episode. It might be a long one, but we'll probably cover the entire briefing in real time, not live because I'm at work, but you understand what I'm saying. The next day, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to see what the bald-headed, "Oh, were the borders secure? The border's secure, Brett. I'll tell you why the border's secure." Okay, that's the DHS Secretary Alejandro Marcus. The guy's a knucklehead. The guy's evil. That's the guy running the border, supposedly, along with Kamala Harris. Who don't get me going with that lady. But hit that comment button. Leave us a comment down below, I suppose, and hit that like and subscribe button. Some of you are asking for signed copies, so I'm getting your emails. Multiple people are asking for signed copies. I got to figure it out. I do have a limited amount of copies on my end. I'm trying to figure out a way to do this. Some of you have recommended maybe Apple Pay or Cash App and stuff like that. Let me figure it out. I will respond to your emails about this. Don't buy a book just yet on Amazon if you want a signed copy. I have to figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I only have a limited amount of copies, and some of those are for like news outlets like Fox News and stuff like that. So I got to figure it out. I want to take care of you guys and get you a signed copy. I don't want books being bought and then shipped to my house, and then we got to ship them back. So I want to figure out a convenient way of where I can sign it and maybe do a personalized message to you and then send it out that way. It costs a little bit more. I got to figure out the cost because I think on Amazon a hardcover is like $30-something, I think, or something like that. So obviously signed copy is going to be more and all that stuff. I got to figure it out. I love you guys. I'm going to write you back. So look out for an email. Some of you I probably already responded to. Thank you so much. Hit the join tab. Join us. We're American Patriots. We're getting a lot more people joining us, which is great. We're growing here at the Ball Brad Show. Hop on early while you can, because as you see, the mainstream media is lying to you. We're going to try to bring you the truth and just present you what we got on our end. So thank you so much. Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. And folks, we'll see you tomorrow here on the Ball Brad Show.